Need a battery. So I'm going to work. About me having to dig one out. That'll work for now. Right, I've been sitting here watching a couple of videos, and right, I'm going to agree with one comment someone made, yeah, but I'm going to disagree with some of the other kind of stuff that he's mentioned. Not just him, a few other people actually. What's that happening? No, vibration. Right, give me a second, guys. I need to grab a couple of bits and pieces. So I'm doing this off the spur at the moment, kind of thing, you know. I could have left it till tomorrow, but I thought, I'm not too tired at the moment. Let's do it now while I think about it. Right. Right. So I watched a video a little while ago. Interesting, I suppose. And yeah, I kind of agree that, you know, we humans do have our own EMF inside our body, and when we die, you know, we keep some of that EMF, that electronic magnetic energy built inside us, you know, static electricity, whatever you want to call it. And what I don't understand is that people think devices that we use nowadays, right, are used for the paranormal, but they can be used for other things, and they can actually give false readings. So I'm going to start doing a little kind of like mini series on trying to debunk certain equipment here. Some of it will probably be offline, then uploaded. Hello, Ian, Nigel. Some of it will be offline because I need to do it offline because I ain't going to be able to do it, you know, like with my webcam, you know, outside. So I need to go into the kitchen, living room, and a few other places to try and debunk some of the stuff. But what I kind of disagree is not so much a K2 meter, but a REM pod can be manipulated in many ways. Because it goes off, it doesn't mean it's a spiritual person. Same with another EMF detector, you know, Ghost meter Pro, even these, you know, K2 meters. No, we can't turn around and say 100% it's a spirit, you know, communicating with us through these devices. You know, I've known for a fact that if you've got a strong enough signal through your phone, and this one's kind of like on airplane mode, I did do a little bit of testing in the kitchen earlier, and I've got my DC box turned on, and I was waving it across, but it was going off, but it's not going off in here for some reason. Now, if you've got a dodgy antenna, like I've got in this one, having two devices next to each other will cause problems with each antenna, because they've all got its own EMF built around the antenna, and that is probably affecting that, or that's affecting that. So you know, when you've got two devices with antennas next to each other that read off EMF, that is definitely going to be affecting one or the other, as you can see. And now that antenna did break, and it is like put on again, but it's not like going to give me the true readings. Shut up. Start. Oh, actually, it could be because there's a magnet in that Ouija board, isn't it? Magnet could be setting it off. But there's no magnet on the fucking bed, so why is that keep going off now? Right, there we go, right. Turn this on. Yeah, I'm going to send that Ouija board thing back, because I really want to buy another pro version of this, because I do miss my pro version. Let's turn this on. Turn this on. Battery's flat on that one. And turn this on. Right, these are more going to be the first series, or the first episode is going to be more about EMF devices, I suppose. Now, I know that we do have, our own energy inside our body, and like when we die, I suppose some of that energy generates EMF, and we're able to manipulate some of these devices. Fair enough. But how do we know that we're really communicating with anything such as a spirit that is generating its own EMF and manipulating those devices? We don't really, do we? No, there's no pure 100% evidence that when these devices go off, we are communicating with the spirit. No, you can't see the spirit manipulating it, can you? Now, you can't see a hand waving across it, even like a half invisible hand or oral of a hand. No, if an orb comes past it and sets it off, then fair enough. An orb is a spiritual energy. It's a start of a manifestation, yeah? So if an energy is captured around those devices and the device goes off, then yeah, we can probably turn around and say, that may be a spiritual energy. But don't forget, there's different types of energy. There's probably hundreds and hundreds of different types of EMF out there. We're generating EMF ourselves. We could probably be, in one way, generating so much EMF out of our own living bodies that we could be setting off all we know. Now, all you got to do is go near one of these devices. Look, my hand's not even touching it, and it's setting it off. If I put my hand there, it goes off. It goes there, it sets it off. No, a K2 meter. No, not really. But I have got K2 meters where a little accidental jog will set it off. This one doesn't do it now. Well, sometimes it does. If you like walking and you kind of like shaking it around and you get hit on that, you think that's a paranormal. It's not. It's where you're walking and you're jerking it. You know, it's not going to happen all the time, depending on the strength of the battery as well. But these can be easily manipulated. There's a tuning pot in there where you can really turn the sensitivity up, and that's like EMF that goes past it, whether it's being spirit or some other man-made energy. I'm not shaking that. So what's setting that off? It's my plug socket down at the bottom. I just debunked it. So, you know, you could be walking around so-called haunted houses and you've probably got loads of things connected and plugged into a socket, and you walk past that socket. Oh, look, I've got a ghost. And you don't think about looking at, you know, for the actual electrical outputs, you know, the sockets, any kind of cabling. I just looked down and I've got a shitload of things connected to my fucking power outlet. Look, that's what's selling off down there. There, look. And how I bring it up. See, I just debunked one thing already. And people walking around, oh look, I've got a hit. Oh, I've got a ghost. I've got communication. Way, we got activity. You know, we got proof that there's a ghost here. No. Look, I can probably put that to about here. And that's probably 3.5 feet away. And I'm getting hits already. I'm getting hits on that already. 3.5 feet away from the circuit, from the actual plug sockets. Because some of these are actually, I haven't modified mine. I did tell someone how they can modify it. But I turned mine up to full, so it's harder for spirits to manipulate this. And if it goes off, then maybe, possibility, you know, I'm not saying it's a spirit person. It could be. You know, but there are different types of EMF out there which can manipulate our devices. What are you doing? Get down. Right, let's see. Now look, even this one. Look. Even if about 1.5 foot away, I'm still getting 16 on it. And when people get hit, they get excited thinking it's a spirit setting the devices off. But they don't bother trying to debunk things, you know. You know, I'll turn my light off. I'll guarantee you possibly my REM pod will go off if I turn it on and off quick enough. Which is making me look like a liar, but it does sometimes go off. Let's try it now. I think it's a certain light switch that does it. No, okay. But I know a certain light switch used to set that off. Might even be my kitchen one. Let me just quickly try the kitchen one. No. Oh. But maybe I've made it so it's not as sensitive now, but I know when I had a different antenna on that, every time I turned the light on, that used to go off crazy. No, even these, which I've made. No, I've seen many people make these, and they've used them, right? And when they get hits, they think it's like paranormal. Maybe some of it is paranormal. I'm not saying it isn't. Not all of it is, though. Now, unless you've got compelling evidence where an orb's coming past it on a night vision camera and you can see an orb go past it and it's going off when the orb goes past, and yeah, that's possibly like, you know, pure evidence, I suppose. Okay, 2 meters. They go off randomly. Now look, my mobile phone's setting that off. And my mobile phone is on airplane mode. Now I put it on full mode. Let's see what happens then. Because some people don't put their phones on the table out of reach of devices. Now look. And I'll guarantee you, if I get a phone call or text, that will go even crazier. Now I've got some other K2 meters, but where they are, I don't know. That one here. Oh, hang on, this one. So, you know, you don't realise having a phone in your pocket. Now, look, see. Now, let's see if I put it in my pocket. Not really, but if that phone was to, like, start bleeping because I'm getting a text message. Now, look, see. You are getting a little bit. So a mobile phone can actually set this off. Now look, you can have it in your top pocket and forget about it, and you're holding it in front of you. And don't get, some of these K2 meters are so shitty, you know, just even walking around holding it sets it off sometimes. So, you know, you can't turn around and say that's paranormal when they go off by itself, you know, like, you know, let's say you're walking fast and it starts going off. Oh look, I got hit. Or at least when I do paranormal stuff, I tend to try and stop and then ask the spirits to communicate with us. And if they communicate on command and we get a direct response, then yeah, I could probably turn around and say, I believe that's paranormal. But if you get like the odd random hit, I don't think that's really classed as paranormal, to be honest with you. It could be anything that be, you know, some EMF field that's just passing by kind of thing, you know, like a spirit, maybe. But if you go outside, you know, it's like if you live under a fucking great big telephone cable, you're going to get high EMF. You know, lights, all your electronics cause EMF in your place. And that's when you're getting a lot more kind of like headaches, which I suppose I'm getting. You know, I've got like 8 plugging things plugged down, and that's what probably might be giving my headaches. Maybe it might not be true that. It could be spiritual. I'm not saying it is. It could be a mixture of both. So what's setting that off? I ain't touching it. Could it be my phone? No, let's see. No, it was sitting there just now and it won't do nothing. So let's turn my phone off. For some reason, I'm going to turn it off. Power off. Right, phone's going off right now, yeah? It's turned off right now. Nothing on the screen, nothing. So why is that going off? You know the reason why? It could be the battery. Even when the batteries start getting low, it will give you false readings. I've fucking proven that myself as well. Right, let's find a new battery. Well, let's move it for a second. Still going off. So let's find a battery. Now, I don't know if this is a good battery. So let's take the battery out and replace it with a different one. No, it kind of like upsets me and pisses me off when people turn around and say, oh look, there, look, see, change the battery over. It's not going off again. I'll leave it there, see what happens. People don't realise that you will get false readings with a battery that's dying on you. You know, there's many times where that has gone off, right, because it's picking up some kind of like disruption through its EMF. So what's causing it, don't know, because you can't see EMF. It could be a spirit, it could be, you know, your own energy where you're moving around a lot and you're generating EMF yourself, and it could be sending it off. The only time you can actually class that as paranormal is if you've got it all in a room with a knocked off camera. You know there's no kind of like things connected to plug sockets or anything like that. You know, you ain't got no mobile phones turned on. You've got no other electronic stuff in that room. If it's an empty room and you've got a camera facing those on the table and they start going off, then yeah, I can probably turn around and say, well, yeah, well, that's paranormal. Now look, that's not going off anymore. That's not going off anymore because I changed the battery over. It's like this. When you pick it up, it's going to go off. Of course it is, because you've broken the barrier. Right, and once you've like settled it down, you know, even when you move it, it's going to set it off because you're disrupting the barrier. You've got to be very dead still and not move around. If it suddenly goes off, then maybe it could be a spirit. Maybe it might not be. You know, we're generating energy all the time when we're talking, when we're moving. Someone could move into the room and generate enough EMF to set it off, and we think it's like paranormal. Now, if you ask that person to go out, and they go out, and you let the, you know, the energy in the room settle down, and you're still holding it, and ask, you know, whether a spirit that may, or you think may have set it off to do it again, and it goes off, and you're the only one there, then yeah, okay, that could probably be classed as paranormal. But if it doesn't go off and you ask that person to come back in again and they disrupted the energy and it starts going off, then you know it's the person who's just walked in the room that set it off. You know, it's easy. Look, I'm moving around. I've just broken the barrier. That don't mean I've got a spirit right next to me trying to communicate with me. You know, I do try to debunk things, and people, you know, it just makes me laugh when I watch people's videos and they say, oh, well, this can be, you know, set off only by spirits. No. Any of the devices that we use can be set off by spirits and human and any other kind of like electromagnetic energies that may be floating around. Because don't forget, when we're using their TVs and their radios or hi-fis, you know, you're giving off EMF. It's setting its own EMF off. Now, it doesn't matter if I've got a TV on, which I've got on, and it starts interrupting with you know, with an EMF device, because like some EMF devices will pick up the radiation from the TV. So some this doesn't, you know. I've got my TV on. That's why you can see the screen lighting up more quicker sometimes. And yeah, vibration. Look. I knocked the bed. It set the REM pod off. Some people just turn around and say, oh, look, we've got spiritual communication. But they don't realise they've knocked the bed or the table. That's why I use my sensor light. No one shut up. See, that's how sensitive my fucking REM pod is. It's got a broken antenna, and when you try to stick a new one on, it's so sensitive, man. Ridiculous. Let me go and get the other things. Hold on. This is why I use these. And you know, my room's cluttered with stuff, yeah. And you see me use these in the kitchen and in the bedroom, and in the kitchen and in the living room, and I've not been in there. And you see these actually flashing. That's because there's movement, there's vibration in the room. But does that mean it's spiritual? No, because if you've got people living upstairs and they're banging around, this will pick up vibration. And if they're not upstairs, and I can tell they're not upstairs, and it starts going off, then I could probably turn around and say, well, I think I may have spirit in there. That's actually activating it. And if it's setting it off, and one of those devices is going off at the same time, then these can't really pick up the vibration from upstairs, but this will. But if this is going off, and that's going off, and a K2 meter's going off, then I could probably turn around and say, well, yeah, I think that could possibly be spiritual interaction. I've given Rose 2 of these because they're pretty good. These are like motion sensors, just like that one, but that one picks up more sound than this one does. I suppose because the batteries are flat on this one. Hello, 1, 2, 1. Got to kind of be close up to this one, but with that one, you can see it's going crazy on talking. I'd like to get some more of these, but I can't find them anywhere. I did have 2, and I gave 1 away, which I never did. But even with the trigger objects, you've seen in my rooms several times where I've had that crucifix or a Bible standing on there, and it's set off like that. You can see what all that falling down. So, if that goes off all of a sudden, you can see I'm sitting still here. If I made a bang, you're going to hear it. If I'm going to kick the bed, you're going to see my feet move. And I could just accidentally knock it. Oh, look, we've got a ghost. The ghost has just set off the motion sensor. It triggered off the trigger object. No. Because I accidentally or on purposely knocked the fucking bed to show you that the slight vibration will set it off. And I just don't understand why people get so excited thinking that they've got spiritual activity when it could be something simple. That's what we're here for, to try and... I'm not trying to put the paranormal down, because I'm not, we're learning, and we got to understand that sometimes when we get interaction with these devices, it's not always a spiritual communication. It could just be a random flutter of different EMF that's somehow manipulated the REM pods, or the DC box, or the K2 meter, or the static millimeter, whatever. So I've got my millimeter over there, actually. I forgot to bring it over. But, and another thing what will set off K2 meters, an EM pump, being too close to it. Now, we know EM pumps generate EMF. The magnet is spinning around, it's generating its own EMF electricity. And if a EM pump is too close to a K2 meter, it will set it off. And I can prove it. Look, this is my one. Right. Right, I'm going to hold. Will you stop running around, cat? Let's just put that there for a minute. Right. I can control the speed of the magnet rotating in here. Let's see if it will go off. Right, that's on full, yeah. Look, let's set that one off as well, because look, and that one, and I'm probably about 2 foot away from it. So you've got a high EMF generating, and yeah, it's going to set it off. Turn it down, It's still sent off at like 2 feet away. You know, to stop that generating enough EMF and get it more closer, it's not setting that one off. It's not setting off the ghost meter, but it's still setting off the K2 meter. If I turn it all the way down, right down to the bottom, it won't set any off. None. So if you've got an EM pump and you have it on a fraction, look, even like the foot away, it's still going to set it off, and that's only on like a fraction, you know, a very low speed. 1.22. If I turn it down to like 60, let's say 80, you know, that's about half a foot away. So you don't want to be putting EM pumps right next to them, because you're going to definitely get false readings all the time. That's when if I put this on, or on my other EM pumps, I make sure it's like halfway across the room. And I can say to the spirits, right, if you want to build up the energy to try and manipulate these devices, use the energy from this box, use the energy around the room, use some energy if you need to, because I do believe that spirits can use our energy. And if they use as much energy as they can get and collect, and they set them off, and it's crazy. I've had in the living room where I've had 3 devices go off on command, direct command. I can't explain what done that, but it hit peak on the K2 meters, solid red. Now I went in now because they was going off, and I went, what the hell, you know, is going on? I've gone in there, I've turned all the K2 meters off, and it is on my YouTube somewhere. And I said, right, if that was a spirit that was strong enough to set those 3 K2 meters going off, can you please do it again? And as soon as I said, please do it again, all 3 went off. I went, can you stop? And suddenly they stopped. And I said, can you do it again? And they all 3 came back on again. So that I do believe was, you know, definitely paranormal. Because I have got the response. I got direct response after asking the question. But, you know, when you're using certain devices, it doesn't mean that every hit you get is paranormal. I know we like to think it's paranormal, but it's not all the way. No, I would like to get another Ghost Meter Pro, but they're about 80 quid on eBay, and it comes from China, and I've got like 4 weeks to wait for the damn thing, and I don't have the full funding because I bought that fucking shitty animated Ouija board, which is going to go back. Well, sometimes, no, you don't have to be right over it with the phone. Depends on what phone it is. I've used phones before, and, you know, they've gone off on the odd occasion. Not saying every occasion, but they have gone off on the odd occasion. I have had it go off when I've had a text coming through, and I was probably about 2 feet away from the actual device. So, you know, it depends on what mobile, you know, and what kind of like coverage he's got. I suppose I think the one I had more was from a 3G. I think this is like the newer 3G, but I'm talking about my old Samsung. But, you know, look, I turned it off, but I did have this on earlier. I was just running through, you know, I should have recorded it actually, but I didn't think about it. But I had the K2 meter, and I just kind of like put it about a foot over it, and it started setting the K2 meter off. Now, maybe phones give different, well, I suppose mobile phones do give off different amounts of energy, I suppose, because it's running off the battery, in it. And battery is more like, I suppose, a trigger for EMF. So you're right in one way, but I have actually gone and got a K2 meter, and I've had it in, like, you know, my front pocket, and I picked it up with my left hand while the phone was in my right hand, and I was getting a text message at the same time, and the K2 meter started going off. But, you know, you've got to realise that, you know, phones do set things off. It's a known fact that phones can set things off. But I'm going to try and do debunking of these not every so often, but when I feel like doing it, like do a little mini series, get the DC box and just walk around and point it at like electrical cables and sockets and stuff like that, and see if they actually do set it off. Put them near like electrical devices like the cooker, microwave, and see if it sets it off. Same with the REM pod, K2 meter. Well, I've already done K2 meter before. I'll probably do that again. Ghost meter as well, and maybe the tri-field meter. Now I'm just going to be EMF devices. Going to try a camera as well and see what kind of like unusual things we can probably catch with a camera. So I know when I've actually caught things, it's more in the mirror, but sometimes it's just pixeling that we kind of like make us believe that we're seeing an image in the actual reflection of the mirror. And sometimes it is our own reflection, but when you're actually casting reflection in the mirror and your camera's taking a flash, the flash can actually cause the light to be so bright that it actually pixelizes the actual mirror, and you're thinking that you're seeing things in the mirror. Now, I've got some crazy stuff in my mirror, but it doesn't mean it's all paranormal. It just could be like pixelization, but spirits do use pixelization to try and manifest themselves. I'm going to be trying my baby monitors, which I've got as well. I'll have to do that offline. Some of these will be offline as well because I can't be doing it like live streaming. I'll have to take my camcorder and record it at the time and then come back and upload it as like, K2 meter debunking, REM pod debunking, DC box debunking. Every one I do will be offline and then uploaded as and when I feel like doing them. But I will try to find a way of debunking stuff while doing live streams, kind of thing as well. And I'm not picking at certain people. I'm picking. I'm not really picking. I'm just explaining that in the paranormal you can't turn around and say every K2 hit, every REM pod hit, every kind of like interaction with an EMF meter is paranormal, because there are other electromagnetic fields out there what can actually manipulate those devices. Now, I don't know what kind of frequency EMF's built on. I've not really researched what frequency. I know that there's different types of EMF on different frequencies, and we don't even know what frequency the spirit world is on. If my millimeter, well, not millimeter, but if my REM pod started going off right now, or my DC box going off right now, then I could turn and say, well, that could be spiritual activity, but it might not be. And if it starts going off when you ask them to stop and suddenly it stops, then you're asking them to like interact and make it go off again, then it goes off again after you've requested it for them to set it off. Then you say stop, then you ask them to turn it on again, and it's like on response, then yeah, I can turn around and say, well, yeah, I believe that is definitely paranormal, spiritual. But don't forget, I've already just debunked one thing: battery issues. If you've got a flat battery, it's going to keep going off. It's going to give you false readings, and you ain't going to realise it's that. I've had a battery in here what's gone flat 1 minute, turned it back on, and it hasn't gone off again. It hasn't set itself off. But give it a few minutes, when the battery starts lowering the power level on itself, it starts giving you false reading again. Just like the K2 meters. So you've got to take that in consideration as well. I do believe that we are being communicated with. And yeah, I do believe that on quite a few occasions when, you know, devices go off, it is possibly paranormal, you know, spiritual. But there are times when, you know, you think that it's paranormal and it isn't, because it's either the batteries or are too close to it, or, you know, someone's turned the light on in the next room, which might have been able to, in some way, manipulate the energy from the DC box or the REM pod or one of the other devices, you know. So I have done that. I've gone in the kitchen and I said, oh, hang on, that might be the kitchen light. And I've turned the light off and I've turned it back on again, and the REM pod started going off. As soon as I turned the light on, the REM pod went off. And I've even said to you there and then, I said, right, okay, that's the light that set that off. Can't class that as, we can't class that as spiritual. So, you know, I have debunked stuff in the past. But there's times when I've asked spirits to use the meter, wherever that is, and I've asked them to change the temperature. And we have had the temperature change quite a lot, you know, like the other night. You know, we had that there. I had the camera facing it, and, you know, it is on one of the divot boxes, the one I actually made, remember? And we got a 1.3 Celsius change on that box I made, but we didn't get hardly any changes on the other two divot boxes. So why? And those all next to each other. I was sitting here, divot boxes were on the bed. I had the camera on the table so you could practically see what's going on. So, you know, why did we get hits on a fake divot box I made, and we weren't getting it on the other two divot boxes? No, we had a slight fracture. I can't even pronounce it now. We had a slight fluctuation on the other two. On the one I made, we had a 1.3, while the other two was like 0.2, maybe 0.3. So why? No. Why did we get that huge? Well, it wasn't huge, but why did we have a fluctuation 1.3 Celsius on a box I made? Is that because my energy went into that box? I put enough energy in there to, like, entrap my energy, I suppose, and that's what the meter was reading, my energy. I'm going to bring them divot boxes out again tonight and try another experiment with them. Same kind of experiment, probably. I'm going to have, like, the REM pod near them. I'm going to have, like, the meter next to them. I'm going to try to do the temperature thing again. I'm not saying we're going to get the same, you know, results, but if we do, that'd be cool. But look, you know, talking, it's like knocking. You know, that sets that off. You know, vibration. If that was on the floor and I walked outside, you know, I'm pretty sure it'd pick up the vibration from the hallway and set that off. Because this one's got like a microphone in, I think. Got to have something in here to make it vibrate and pick up the sound. I don't see a microphone in there. I know it's got a volume control, so you can turn it all the way down. 1, 2, and turn it up to the way you want it. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you can turn the control up and down to actually change the actual well, I can't really say sensor. Well, it must be a sensor. Don't know. I've never opened this up actually to look inside. I don't really want to open it up because I'll break it. Can't find them anywhere. I know it's made in China. And there is a stick on the back which I'll have to look at. So quickly see it. No, it just says made in China. Mind you, it has got a name on there. So I might look into that tomorrow, today, whenever. But yeah, as I say, I'm not doubting the paranormal. I'm not like judging people the way they think, you know, when they get K2 hits or REM pod hits or whatever. No, it could be possibly spiritual interaction. But you don't see many people trying to debunk things nowadays, you know. It's always, oh yeah, that's a ghost, that's a paranormal. You know, they don't try debunking some of the stuff. And that's what you need to do. That's what the paranormal is all about, is trying to debunk stuff as well. Especially when you get shadow movement and stuff like that. And that's another thing I want to try to debunk, shadow movements. How I'm going to do that, I don't know. It's going to be bloody hard to do. But I'm going to try to do it somehow. So I wasn't going to do this tonight. Well, now. But I thought, no, fuck it, you know. I'm going to prove to some people that it's not always paranormal when you get hits on devices. So, so I've got to say, really, to be honest with you, I'm going to go to bed in a minute. I am hungry, but I don't want to cook it. I'm hungry, but I don't want to cook anything. It's too late to order something. I don't really want to order something when I've got food in the cupboard. So I'm pretty sure you can see the way I'm going with this, you know. It's like, you know, it's not always paranormal. And we've got to realise it's not always paranormal. Doesn't matter where you're in, a house, a hotel, a bungalow, a cabin, a castle, an asylum, you know, anything like that. Unless you're in a complete empty room, got a knocked off camera, you've got some devices there, and you know there's no electric running through the cabling, and things start going off, then yeah, you can class that more paranormal than anything else, because there's nothing that should be actually affecting the equipment unless it's a spooky person. So right, I'm tired, I'm going to go. I'm not leaving the stream on. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to go to bed after I drink my coffee. And I might see you tonight, maybe. So I'll catch you later.